What's good, Samurai Gang? It's your boy Soup, and yes, we're back with another video, y'all. All right, you guys have been trying to get me to react to the latest One Punch Man chapter. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been keeping up with the chapters at all. I kind of it's all right, whatever, fine. Ever since the fight with God-fearing Garo, I kind of dropped off of it. I kind of was like, whatever. But now we're back because something interesting actually started to happen. Saitama is confirmed to be multiversal. I hope that there's feats. I get to see a bunch of feats. I get to see a bunch of dimensions, infinite dimensions. If that's the case, their cosmology is a lot bigger than Dragon Ball's at that point, because there's infinite dimensions. I don't think we have infinite dimensions, and if we do, it sometimes or all the time it gets retconned somehow. So we about to see how strong Saitama is right now. I'm super excited. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and smash the like button for your boy. Subscribe. That's all you gotta do is subscribe to the channel. We gonna keep pumping out these videos. Let's check it out.
One Punch Man Chapter 201, the Multiverse is confirmed. The cover page for this one is the same as the one we received for the old version of the chapter. I'm surprised Murata gave up the chance to draw a new one for either of the Psychic Sisters. Previously, Empty Void hit Flashy Flash with one of God's cubes, forced him into a dream where he and Sonic were still kids and successfully left the Ninja Village together. But this version of Sonic was actually just God in disguise. The big Sonic extended its hand towards him.
Oh, so why does what's going on with hold on. Okay, there we go. So I got questions now, because I haven't been keeping up the chapters at all. Honestly, I haven't. So I've always wanted to know why, with these top tier beings, they always look grotesque and disgusting. They never look cool or angelic or anything like that. They just look disgusting. Why is that?
Unsuspecting Kid Flash, but suddenly the hand closed to form a veiny fist.
Wait. I'm not gonna lie. The audio for this video is super low. And that's kind of like that for plot armor. Bro, if you see this video, bro, your videos, because I'm watching this off my computer, of course, but your videos audio is super duper low. I could barely hear what you're saying. I'm gonna need you to up the volume, please. Thank you.
He was taken off guard and was wide-eyed. The next thing he knew, he was being punched in the face. In the real world, Sonic sent Flashy Flash flying with a well-made knuckle sandwich. At the same time, he was circling Empty Void with a triad of after images. The ninja hero caught himself while recoiling from the direct blow. When he looked up, Sonic was guarding him with...
Who are they fighting?
Batman's eyes were blazing with incredible power. Power that was only dwarfed by the inferno of energy surrounding the cube in his hand. He was surprised by Sonic's ability to resist the cube's influence. And as a devoted follower of God, he found it foolishly blasphemous. Sonic surmised that it must be a form of genjutsu that preys upon a target's emotional dependencies to tempt and coerce them. He obviously had no idea what Flashy Flash saw, but hoped that his fellow ninja wasn't so easily fooled. Flash didn't move a muscle as he considered Sonic's words. The thought of someone of his caliber being emotionally dependent was inconceivable, especially considering the focus of his vision was Sonic and their shared dream. This both disturbed and frustrated the S-Class hero, enough for him to accept a total delusion instead. He returned to Sonic's side while questioning if it wasn't just a telepathic attack that shows him repulsive vision. Flash chalked the whole thing up to being a terrible nightmare. Sonic accepted the fable at face value. Then he pointed out that the guy's nose was bleeding.
When are they gonna get to the interesting part? The part that I came here for. I came here to see the infinite dimensions because you guys kept telling me, hey, Sue. It's confirmed that One Punch Man has infinite universes and Saitama's multiversal. I want to see it.
And that's pretty interesting. In the previous version, Sonic was the one whose nosebleed was pointed out. This was because the Heavenly Ninja Party decided that he was the weaker of the two and mercilessly targeted him. Then, he started to bleed from both nostrils. And that happened because he envied Flash's embodiment of ultimate strength through speed. Then, he was forced to keep his pride in check after the hero's words of wisdom. And T-Boyd was now convinced that his former shinobi had become a duo. And the mention of this only added to the blonde ninja's annoyance. Reflecting the village's rules, that man considered it pitiful. According to him, those who are truly confident in their abilities remain peerless. That in pursuit of power's pinnacle, separation is to be expected. And that reflects Saitama's life. He's so strong that he's mentally and emotionally removed from most things. Sonic was very confused by the notion of equals. Flashy Flash wondered if their senior was referring to himself and Blast. Clearly, the idea of being evenly matched never crossed their minds. And T-Boyd made it clear that he was talking about the people right in front of him. In terms of skill, Flashy Flash is the superior of the two. Yet in regards to heart, Sonic was the clear winner. And this deviance creates a resonating balance between them. Thankfully, in this version of events, the gap between their combat capabilities isn't too major. And in terms of heart, we know that despite being born and raised in the Ninja Village, Sonic's naturally strong will protected him from their brainwashing. And now, he's trivialized God's influence. In the old version, Sonic's dream was pretty dumb. There were walking, talking monster cells that cooked each other for him. Something that Sonic actually hates. It could hardly be considered an attack on his emotional dependencies. And now, we don't even see a dream for him. It's possible that it may come up later, but for now, I'm under the impression that it was outright cut. There is barely any time passage, so Sonic almost instantly refused to be influenced. Meanwhile, Flashy Flash was completely fooled despite the implausibility of them being kids again and half of his life being deemed a bad dream. If he wasn't stopped, Flash would have definitely touched God's hand. And we know from Garo's cosmic transformation that touching it at all is enough to get the job done.
Yeah.
You gotta be wanting to party, and you gotta tell him no. Natsumaki's
That's a Diddy reference if you guys don't know what's been going on with Diddy. Little freaky ass ninja.
refusal is sort of like the middle ground between these two. At first, she believed that God was Blast, but then she saw through the inaccuracy of his sentiment and knew he was a fraud. But either way, she was in no condition to take his hand in the first place. Flash and Sonic were both affronted by their senior ninja's comments, and Boyd was getting sick of them too. That's when Sonic sprung into action.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm thinking that we about to, like, based off the thumbnail, this kind of like I'm in for Saitama and him fighting an evil version of himself and being infinitely strong. Why are we talking about Flashy Flash and Sonic, bro? I don't care about these two characters. They cool. I mean, they're fine. Like, but I came here because Saitama. I'm a Goku fanboy. I want to see if he's really that strong. If he got to that point, all those years of you guys trying to argue him, it's irrelevant. Right now, I gotta see. And I'm trying to see. But we're still talking about Sonic. We're still talking about Flash.
Mentioned the high reputation of the village's founder. Something that the monster was hardly living up to with all this talk and underhanded methods. But according to MT Boyd, he was the disappointed one, as apparently there was only a single success. Now I want you guys to take note of that. He then decided to finish things quickly and take his leave. He became a Boyd himself, and their blades failed to reach him. The monster slipped through space-time, leaving the speedster ninjas behind with enlarged eyes. He moved incomprehensibly further and further away from them. Before long, he was surrounded by a seemingly endless expanse of alternate movements and outcomes. Each of these orbs contains a different parallel world.
Okay, there we go. Now we get into the good part. The part that I wanted to see. Because I seen like little snippets of this. How do you know they're alternate parallel worlds? There's a lot of them too. I'm not gonna hold you. There's a lot. Probably an infinite amount. That's a whole planet. Wow.
Stemming from infinite possibilities. And all of this is outside the causality of the universe, which is to say that cause and effect are not in play. This is insane. So every redraw we have ever seen may be considered an alternate universe. Somewhere in the multiverse, Garo sat down with Saitama to talk things out instead of fighting. This opens a crazy can of worms that I am still trying to wrap my head around. The implications of this are game-changing.
Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. Okay, all right. So now I get what plot I'm trying to say. So basically, every time we seen like a slight change, a slight redraw, that's them in a parallel verse. But I feel like we've seen that. How wouldn't it not be a cause and effect though? Because we was first introduced to it when Saitama had to go back in time, when Garo taught Saitama how to time travel and go back into time and fix a timeline. Right? That's a cause and effect, right? Like, the cause was Genos died. Saitama got so mad he kept growing in power. He proceeded to beat up Garo. Garo's like, he realized, oh, this is not worth it. So let me teach Saitama to time travel and then go back and beat me once and for all. Not kill me, but like beat, God's power out of me. Right? So that was the cause. The effect was Saitama goes back, Zero punches him, which that still doesn't make sense to me. He still got punched. He still got hit and won. And Saitama won. And that's still like the same powered up Saitama. It's not like he got weaker. He's still that strong from when he fought a fully powered Universal Garo or whatever you want to call him. Right? Cool. So that was the effect. The effect was now in this version, it's in this world, now Garo is a good guy and Saitama's still here. So my biggest thing was, why did people think that Saitama would be evil in a different dimension? Like, it's possible, but like, why would they think because he went back in time, somehow the two fused together? Because that did happen. Two Saitamas did fuse together. So one before pre-fighting Garo and one after fighting Garo. It made one, right? So how would it not, like, I gotta hear how he says cause and effect is not in play. Hold on.
And all of this is outside the causality of the universe, which is to say that cause.
How do you know that's outside of the universe? Like, that's my thing. Like, cause he jumped. He. Okay, so the ninja guy turned himself into a portal and was moving so fast that he was surrounded by a bunch of parallel universes, right? Parallel dimensions and whatnot. I gotta brush up on my term and my terminology, because I gotta figure certain things out. Because to me, it just, like, I'm not taking none of this seriously, and I probably should. When I power scale and whatnot. So.
And effect are not in play. This is insane. So every redraw we have ever seen may be considered an alternate universe. Somewhere in the multiverse, Garo sat down with Saitama to talk things out instead of fighting. This opens a crazy can of worms that I am still trying to wrap my head around. The implications of this are game-changing. There is a lot to unpack there, so we'll go in depth with all that in separate videos. For now, I want to focus on that single success Boyd mentioned. Contextually, it seems like in one timeline, God's power was accepted. This could be both Flash and Sonic in one world, or a single individual. Either way, that is a very scary and exciting prospect. Since he Void then set his sights on a particular bubble that contained a version of Flash and Sonic. Empty Void began weaving hand seals so rapidly that he left after images. He was in the process of folding entire dimensions and summoning the power of a certain jutsu. Like a...
Oh no, so... Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. He might, yeah. This would be like a multiversal feat. Like, this is a multiversal feat. Or is it more like a universal feat? But he's surrounded by... Okay, so remember the video that I did a couple hours ago where it talked about the stacks of reality? You have one stack here and the other one views the other ones as fiction and whatnot. And SCP-3812, you know, views certain things as fiction. So would that be the same thing? Like, wouldn't Void be like wouldn't he be doing the same thing? Like, where, like, because he's outside of the universe based off, you know, the manga. He's outside of the universe. He's affecting reality for a different dimension very easily, like it's nothing, because he took God's power. So would that mean that he will be high outer or something like that? Something along the lines of that.
A wrathful deity, the villain drew one of his twin blades to besiege this new reality from the outside. In response, Flash's instincts screamed at him. This is the same reaction and accompanying visuals that we saw from Blast back at Hero Association headquarters. It seems like being predisposed to that man's attack allowed Flash to anticipate this one. He cried out to Sonic and told him that an attack was on the way. He insisted that his old friend be careful, but the Slash attack was already hurtling in their direction. Dimension Slash! The world itself was carved into. Despite his prior anticipation, Flashy Flash was still cut, but Sonic's fate was far worse.
Damn!
Flash could only look on in horror at the bisected body of his childhood friend. Flash couldn't believe his eyes and screamed Sonic's name. From there, Empty Void entered the dimension. He told an overwhelmed Flashy...
So in one dimension, Sonic actually dies. Wow.
Flash that he cannot go against the will of the Holy Hand. He insisted that Flashy Flash join him in the extermination of humanity.
Oh, because he, in one dimension, he actually takes God's power. This might be it.
Dimension Slash from hyperspace to cleanse the planet's surface. Then he moved the cube towards the ninja's bewildered face. And that's when Blast punched him in the face with Gravity Knuckle. The monster was sent hurtling away. This caused a practically explosive scattering
of the
crash. Flashy Flash was stammering while on the ground and calling out to Blast. Empty Void had been lodged below the surface, and with a rush of power, he moved it all away from himself, regaining his freedom. Veins began to bulge on his organic armor as he angrily acknowledged his former partner. At the same time, Flashy Flash was surprised to see his old friend was alive, and Sonic was very confused by what
he got cut in half.
Blast stuck his tongue out at Void and mocked him for being fooled. It turns out that he just hit Sonic's upper body with a dimensional gate. And the fact that he can do that without splitting someone in two is impressive. That man could only look on in frustration. Sonic wondered how Blast knew about their location at all. Blast admitted that the wording of the letter Flashy Flash received seemed pretty strange, though he pretended to warp away. But in reality, he used his warp abilities to follow his fellow hero from above. And the fact that he managed to do this while going unnoticed by the trained senses of Flashy Flash is also very impressive. But Blast did not mention that he lost track of his mark about halfway through due to the fog. The Dimension Slash was what gave their location away. So maybe the alarm that Blast gave to Flashy Flash will come up at a later point. It is still in this version of events after all. Whatever the case, Blast placed his hands on the shoulders of Sonic and Flash. He commended them both for overcoming the cube's temptation, and according to him, they pass. That is a pretty exciting declaration. Back when Flashy Flash expressed his desire to join Blast's fight against God, the top hero refused. Due to the loss of his partner to God's temptation, he wasn't willing to accept Flash. But now, they've made the cut. When we inevitably begin to properly explore other dimensions, we can expect Blast as to trusty lights of Flashy Flash, Vito Sonic, Tatsumaki, and Saitama. And now, I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is that with this chapter, we are finally done with the redraws and can return to uncharted territory. The bad news is that the One Punch Man manga will be on break for 2 months. It seems like Murata's many obligations may be complicating the production of things. But that doesn't mean we won't be getting any new webcomic content in the meanwhile. And hopefully, in 2 months, we'll know more about the release of the anime's 3rd season.
Alright, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of slightly disappointed. I'm slightly disappointed by this chapter. Just a little bit. Just a tad bit. Because I'm thinking I'm going to see Evil Saitama. I'm going to see Multiversal feats. I'm going to see all of that. That's what I had high expectations. Those were my expectations coming into this video because you guys were so excited for me to react to it. I'm not entirely disappointed. I'm slightly disappointed. But we'll see in 2 months. We'll see in 2 months. It might get better. So it's been your boy Sue. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace, y'all.
Hey, hey. To say she bad is an understatement. But look, I love to say it. Make a kitty purr. Got the pussy that I love to play with. That sexual chocolate and she mine. All the others hating. Can you spin